Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacy. I am going to be doing my June monthly wrap-up from my chicken coop today. So, I have chickens and ducks, and it is about 1,000,000,000 degrees here today. We're having a horrible heat wave, and so I'm out here refilling up the ducks' pool, giving them fresh cold water so they can go swimming and cool off because they're panting. And I gave them some frozen peas to eat because they love them and it helps them cool down. So I'm just sitting out here for a while waiting for the pool to fill. And I thought, you know, I just finished the last book that I am going to finish in June. And I've got some time while I'm in here waiting for the pool to fill up. But yeah, they're really funny and they make me laugh, and I love hanging out with the birds. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and film out here, but first I will show you all of the birds. So, like I said, I've got chickens and ducks, and this chicken here is my favorite. Her name is Duchess, and she looks crazy, right? I'm talking about you. Who's my favorite chicken? Look at that face. Who could love that face? And so there's my other ducks who are checking out the fresh pool water. That black duck right there is Ichabod because we got him in October. And we love the story, The Headless Horseman. All right, guys, so I only read 4 books this month. It was a very busy month. Went on that road trip I was telling y'all about, and I was gone for the first week of June. I was planning on reading a lot on that trip, but I can't read while I'm in the car. I get car sick. And I also was going to put in headphones and just listen to a book, but we had music on, and I was with 2 other of my friends, and we were just like talking the whole time, so I didn't read it all in the car or listen to anything. And our days were so packed full of stuff that by the time I got to bed at night, literally my head hit the pillow and I was out like a light. So there was no reading in the hotel room. And then the second week of June, I actually got sick. I got horrible allergies. And so yeah, I did not feel like reading. I was just really tired. I got laryngitis. It was a whole thing. They're doing a lot of talking, sorry. They're getting really excited for the pool. Hello, duckies. Is everybody happy? Okay, sorry, I had to move. They are getting way too excited with me in there and they won't stop quacking. So it's really loud. Anyway, so the first book that I read in June is called The Moonlight School by Suzanne Woods Fisher. This was historical Christian fiction set in Kentucky. I want to say in the late 1800s, I'm guessing. And it's about a 20-ish-year-old girl who goes to stay with her aunt in the mountains, in like the very poor rural area of Kentucky, and her aunt was just elected to, not like the school board, but elected to some position where she deals with education, and her main goal is to get all the people on the mountain to be able to read because they have such a high literacy rate. So the whole book is mainly set up on the mountain where you get to meet all the different people who live there, and you get to hear all the backstories and past generations. So the people that live there are very faithful and have a big part in helping the young girl. I can't remember her name, but they have a big part in helping her get closer to God and build on her faith. She comes from a very wealthy family, but she also had a lot of heartache in her life, and so being around these people really gives her a different perspective and helps her become closer to God. It was a beautiful story with amazing characters. I learned a lot from it. I would highly recommend this book. It was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful in the way it was written. So yeah, I gave that book 5 stars. The next book I read is called Texas Roads by Kathy Bryant. And this one is a contemporary Christian romance, I would classify it. It takes place in Texas, and that's mainly the reason why I picked it up. I've never read anything from this author before, but I wanted to read something that was set in Texas since I was doing that road trip. So it's about this girl who is a teacher, and her father dies and her husband dies, and she has a lot of, baggage and tough times she's going through. And she decides to leave Dallas, where she lives, and go visit one of her aunts and kind of just get away from it all in like a small town and just kind of start over. So while she's there, she meets a man who is great, by the way. I really do love him, and I like the romance a lot in this book. But she meets this man who is the mayor of this town, and the town is basically dying. Businesses are going away and people are moving to the big cities, and so he's trying to revitalize the town, and she's trying to start over and learn about herself and new relationships and stuff. And so then some things start happening in the town, and there's kind of a little mystery surrounding things, but she grows a lot in her walk in faith, and so I do really like that aspect of it. This book was a quick, light, easy read. It wasn't like spectacular or anything, but it definitely was enjoyable. So the next one I read is Flights of Fancy by Jen Turano. Fantastic book. Absolutely loved it. This was book 1 in the American Heiress series, so this is historical Christian fiction. I just read book 2 recently. Didn't realize I was reading book 2 when I did, so you don't have to read these in order, but I wanted something kind of light and funny, and so I read book 1, and I'm so glad I did because I liked book 1 even more than book 2. It was hilarious. It's about this heiress from New York, and this duke from England wants to marry her, and he's a horrible guy, and she doesn't want to marry him, so she takes off, disappears into Pennsylvania, and gets a job working for a man on a farm. The faith in this book was so great. I loved it because this one didn't talk about faith as much as it showed how to live out your faith. It showed how to live as a Christian, and I really appreciated that. I got a lot out of it, and the characters were so great. Everybody was lovable, and you're just rooting for everybody in this book. There's even really funny chickens and cows, and it was just so great. I'm gonna read book 3 soon. I think that's all there is out right now, and I'm hoping it's as funny as this one was. But this one is a definite recommend. Definite. I hope everybody reads it. So the last book I read this month, I just finished it last night, is Murder in Mesopotamia by Agatha Christie. I just got the Perot in the Orient 3-book bind up, and that was the first book in the book, in the bind up. I would like to read all 3 of the books in that bind up this summer because the movie for Death on the Nile is coming out in October, I think, and I really want to see the movie, but I want to read the book first. I have read the book in the past, but it's been like 15 years, so I don't remember who done it. But anyway, I loved Murder in Mesopotamia. I loved the setting. Again, I loved the characters. I love Perot so much. I love how he sits everybody down at the end and goes through the whole plot basically of who could have possibly done it and who didn't do it, and here's the reasons why. And it's about a nurse who gets hired by a husband to come out to an archaeological dig with him and his team and basically look after his wife, who is having kind of nervous issues. And so death happens, as in all Agatha Christie books. Death happens, and then Poirot gets called in to solve the murder. I don't want to give much of the plot away because you just don't want to know a whole lot about these kinds of books. But it was excellent. I really enjoy Agatha Christie's writing style. The way she does conversation between people is excellent. And I just find it all interesting. The setting, I love archaeology and historical things. When I was a kid, I used to want to be a paleontologist. So the thought of like being out in the desert digging up bones and things is very exciting to me. So yeah, that is all I've got, I guess, for my wrap up. All right, guys, I hope you all are having a fantastic week, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.